Hey, what's up? I didn't see you guys there. Welcome to Ed TV. I'm your host, Ed Jackson. Now, I want you to just simply ride with me as I do some Spark delivery or Walmart delivery or Walmart grocery, whatever you want to call it. Just ride with me as I do my daily hustle out here in Maricopa, Arizona. So let's just get with the video.
Alright y'all, welcome to Ed TV. Today's video is gonna hit a little deeper than just deliveries. I want to take a moment to talk about something we all need in life: purpose, abundance, and faith. You see, purpose is what keeps us moving forward. It's that thing that gives our work, no matter how big or small, real meaning. But along with purpose, we're also called to live in abundance. Not just scraping by, but truly thriving. Now, I'm not just talking about material things. Real abundance shows up in peace, joy, and fulfillment. And let's be honest, walking in purpose and embracing abundance ain't always easy. That's where faith steps in. Faith in God's promises, even when life doesn't look the way we thought it would. In this video, I'll be reflecting on a few scriptures that tie all of these ideas together. Think of it like a little encouragement for the road. Whether you're grinding, waiting, or just trying to figure out your next step, I hope this message gives you some peace and direction. All right, so let's talk about purpose for a minute. If we're being real, life can sometimes feel a little aimless, like we're just going through the motions, checking off to-do lists and waiting for something bigger to happen. I've been there myself, wondering if the little things I do every day really matter in the grand scheme of things. But one thing I've learned is that nothing with God is random. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." That verse reminds me that even when life feels chaotic or routine, God already has a plan in place. Nothing I do is wasted. It's all part of the bigger picture, even when I can't see it. Take this work I'm doing right now, for example. Delivering groceries might seem like a small thing, just grabbing what's on someone else's list and dropping it off at their door. But I've learned that even in the most everyday things, I have the opportunity to live with purpose. See, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10 tells us, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." That means I was made on purpose and for a purpose. Every task, no matter how small, can be part of something much bigger when I align it with God's plan. Even in this gig, I've had moments where I could brighten someone's day with a smile or a little kindness. And that's the beauty of living in purpose. God doesn't just call us to the grand things like being on a stage or changing the world overnight. He calls us to be faithful in the little things, knowing they build towards something greater. Purpose isn't always about what we do, but how we do it with intention, love, and faith. When I deliver orders, I'm reminded that it's not just about groceries. I could be helping someone who's sick, a mom with her hands full, or an elderly person who just can't get out to the store. What may seem like a simple task to me might be a lifeline for someone else, and that's a good reminder. We all have a role to play, and every role matters in God's plan. So if you're feeling lost or like your life doesn't have much meaning right now, I want to encourage you. God's got a plan for you. Even the things that seem small or insignificant are part of the journey. Keep showing up. Keep doing the little things with love and intention, because when you live with purpose, even the smallest task can have the biggest impact. At the end of the day, it's not about having everything figured out. It's about trusting that God knows the way, even when we don't. Our job is to keep moving forward, step by step, knowing that each step has meaning. And when we do that, we'll start to see how all the pieces fit together into something beautiful. That's living in purpose. So now that we've talked about living with purpose, let's slide into the next part, living with abundance. A lot of people hear the word abundance and think about money or stuff. And yeah, material things are nice. No one's mad about having a little extra in the bank. But true abundance goes way beyond what you can touch or count. It's about joy, peace, and fulfillment. The stuff that stays with you, even when life throws you a curveball. Jesus said it best in John chapter 10, verse 10. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. He's not just talking about surviving or scraping by. He's talking about a full life, one filled with purpose, peace, and the kind of joy that can't be stolen, no matter what's going on around you. You know, I've realized that abundance isn't just about what we have. It's about how we feel. I've had days when everything was going right, but I still felt empty. And I've had other days where things were tough, but I had peace that didn't make sense. That's the kind of abundance God offers, something deeper than what money can buy. It's knowing that no matter what, you've got something inside that the world can't take away. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, Verse 8 puts it this way: "And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work." I love that. It doesn't say God blesses us so we can sit back and chill. It says He blesses us so we can abound in every good work. That means when we live with purpose, God makes sure we have everything we need, not just to get by, but to overflow in ways that bless others too. Here's the thing about abundance. It's not just for us. It's like these deliveries I'm making. If I have what I need, I can show up for someone else. When we live with abundance, whether it's time, peace, or even just a good attitude, we're able to pour that out to others. And the crazy part, the more you pour out, the more you seem to have. That's just how God's math works. It doesn't run out, it multiplies. Living with abundance is about shifting your mindset. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, you start to see how much you do have. And when you can walk in that mindset, it changes everything. It makes you grateful, even on hard days. It makes you generous, even when you don't feel like you have a lot to give. And most importantly, it reminds you that God has already given you everything you need to live fully right where you are. So if you've been waiting for the perfect circumstances or a big windfall to feel abundant, let me tell you, it's already available to you. It's not in the next paycheck or the next promotion. It's in knowing that God's got you right now with everything you need to live fully. And when you live with that kind of abundance, it spills over into every part of your life. Abundance isn't just a state of having, it's a state of being. And when you embrace it, you find yourself more joyful, more peaceful, and more fulfilled, no matter what life looks like on the outside. All right, so we've talked about living with purpose and embracing abundance, but here's the truth. None of that works without faith. Living in purpose sounds great until life hits you with delays, disappointments, or detours. And abundance, it's easy to talk about when everything's going smooth, but what about when it's not? That's where faith comes in, believing in God's promises, even when you can't see how things are going to work out. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 says, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." Faith is trusting that God is working, even when we can't see it with our own eyes. It's knowing that just because we don't see progress right now, it doesn't mean God's not moving behind the scenes. I've had moments when it felt like everything was falling apart, days when things just didn't make sense. But it was in those moments that I had to hold on to what I knew to be true. God's promises never fail. Even when the road looks bumpy or unclear, faith is what keeps us moving forward. Isaiah chapter 40 verse 31 says, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Sometimes faith feels like waiting, like you're stuck in a season where nothing is changing. But this verse reminds me that even in the waiting, God is renewing our strength. There's a purpose in every season, even the ones that feel slow or challenging. And let's be real, it's not always easy to have faith. We get tired, we get frustrated, and we wonder if we're ever going to see the promise come to pass. That's where Romans chapter 8 verse 28 comes in. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. That verse reminds me that even when things don't go the way I planned, God is still working for my good. There's a funny thing about faith. It grows the most when life feels the hardest. Every time I've had to trust God in the tough seasons, I've come out stronger, more grateful, and more aware of His hand on my life. Faith isn't just believing that everything will work out. It's knowing that even if things don't look the way we expected, God is still in control. And the more I've learned to lean on Him, the more I see how He's been working things out all along. The delays, they taught me patience. The disappointments, they made me stronger. And the detours, they led me to places I never would have gone on my own. That's the beauty of faith. It shows you that God's promises are still good, even when life takes a different route. So if you're in a season right now where things feel uncertain, let me encourage you. Don't give up. Keep the faith. God's timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't match our schedule. Keep showing up, keep trusting, and keep moving forward. The promise is still good, even if you can't see it yet. Faith is what bridges the gap between where we are and where God is leading us. It's what keeps us going, even when the road gets tough. And when you hold on to God's promises, you'll find strength you didn't know you had, and peace that doesn't make sense. That's the power of faith. At the end of the day, faith is about trusting God with the journey, knowing that every step, whether smooth or bumpy, is part of His perfect plan. And when you keep the faith, you'll see how everything, every delay, every disappointment, every detour was working together for your good all along. All right, we've covered a lot today. Living with purpose, embracing abundance, and having faith in God's promises. But let's get practical for a second, because knowing all this is one thing, but living it out, that takes intention. So I want to leave you with a few simple ways you can start applying these principles to your life today. First, let's talk about purpose. One of the easiest ways to align with your purpose is to start your day with prayer. Before the chaos begins, take a moment to ask God to guide your steps. Something as simple as saying, God, show me how to be a blessing today, can open doors you didn't even see coming. It's not about having a perfect plan. It's about inviting God into your day and letting Him lead. Next up is abundance. A great way to cultivate an abundance mindset is by journaling what you're grateful for. Every morning or evening, write down 3 things you're thankful for, big or small. It could be as simple as, I had a good meal today, or I got a smile from a stranger. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already here. And when you focus on what you have, it grows. Now let's talk faith. Strengthening your faith takes practice, especially when things aren't going the way you expected. One thing that's really helped me is speaking God's promises out loud, especially on tough days. Find a verse that speaks to your situation and say it like you believe it. Something like, I know that all things are working together for my good, from Romans chapter 8, verse 28. Faith comes by hearing, and sometimes we need to hear it from our own mouths. Here's the thing. None of this is about being perfect. It's about taking small, intentional steps every day. Whether it's starting your morning with prayer, shifting your focus to gratitude, or speaking God's promises over your life, these little habits build momentum. They'll keep you grounded even when life gets messy. So my challenge to you is this. What's one small step you can take today? Maybe it's starting your day with prayer. Maybe it's writing down a few things you're grateful for. Or maybe it's finding a verse that speaks to your heart and holding on to it like a lifeline. Whatever it is, take that step and watch how God moves in your life. Living with purpose, abundance, and faith isn't about having it all figured out. It's about showing up every day with a willing heart. So keep going, keep growing, and remember, God's not done with you yet. The best is still to come. All right, y'all, that brings us to the end of today's message. We've talked about living with purpose, embracing abundance, and holding on to faith. 3 things that can change the way you live, no matter what season you're in. Purpose gives your life meaning. Abundance reminds you that you already have everything you need. And faith keeps you grounded, even when life throws you off track. Here's the thing. None of this happens overnight. It's a journey. But every day is an opportunity to take one small step closer to the life God's calling you to live. So here's my question for you. How can you take one step closer to your purpose today? It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's starting the day with a quick prayer, finding a verse to hold on to, or showing kindness to someone along the way. Whatever it is, start where you are. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What step will you take today? Drop it in the comments, and let's encourage each other along the way. And if this message resonated with you, make sure to hit that like button, share it with someone who could use a little encouragement, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next. There's more good stuff on the way, and I'd love for you to be a part of the journey. Thanks for riding with me today. Remember, God's got a plan for your life, and the best is still to come. Stay blessed, stay focused, and keep moving forward with faith. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.